And we are live. Good afternoon and evening, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym of Crypto, episode 466. Today is Monday, September 9th, and I'm King, here to bridge the gap between community and crypto every day, usually at 3-ish, but as we warn, the next few weeks, we will be going to just a revolving schedule. When someone can get on live, we will go online on live on a daily basis, so watch out for that. But yeah, top stories of the day, a lot of good top stories. Warning issued after malware is found to have hijacked Bitcoin blockchain. Wesley Snipes is launching a tokenized $25 million movie fund. Let's see. Bitcoin deposited in back warehouse protected by $125 million insurance. Stellar to airdrop $2 billion XML crypto tokens worth $120 million. Tether launches Chinese yuan peg stablecoin on Ethereum blockchain. And last but not least, MakerDAO is helping 60 kids in Brazil learn the basics of blockchain. A lot of good stuff going on. What's going on? Leroy Forbes, down to Muhammad. Hello. But of course, first thing of the day is look at some of these prices. Again, not a lot of price movement for the last couple months we've seen now almost. Bitcoin's at $10,300 a day, down 1% past 24 hours. Ethereum is $180 a day, down 0.7%. Litecoin, $69.55, down a 1.21%. Ripple is at 0.25 cents a day, down another 1%. And Bcash is at $305 a day, up 0.06%. So again, not a lot of price movement. And I think we're going to continue to see this chop again for the next few weeks, at least until BAC officially comes out and we see what's going on with that. I think after that, a lot of these institutional investors, it was at the 23rd, September 23rd, after that, a lot of institutional investors may have a better idea of which way they're going to go in regards to investing after they see the launch of BAC and how it goes. So I think around the end of the month is when we see anything different than what we're seeing now between this $9,000 to $12,000 range. All right. Top story of the day. Wow. And shout out to P-Man Van for sending this my way as well. I know this is all over the news this weekend. What's going on, Hero George? Said my notifications is on time today. We ain't here. What's going on? But top story today. Warning issued after malware is found to have hijacked Bitcoin blockchain. That is right. You heard it right. It seems as though Bitcoin's blockchain has been hijacked by a new strain of the Glupteba malware. I might be saying it wrong. Glupteba, Glupteba malware that uses the network to resist attacks, cybersecurity researchers have warned. Looks like this malware uses the Bitcoin blockchain to update, meaning it can continue running even if a device's antivirus software blocks its connection to servers run by the hackers. Security intelligence blog Trend Micro report this week. This is pretty crazy. The Glupteba, I can't pronounce it, malware first discovered in December of 2018 is distributed through advertising designed to spread viruses through script and can steal an infected device's browsing history, website cookies, and account names and passwords, with this particular variant found to be targeting file sharing websites. Looks like they said, however, according to researchers, the new version of the malware can also mine the privacy specialized Monero crypto and threaten security of Instagram user accounts, and is currently using the Electrum Bitcoin wallet to send Bitcoin transactions that the attackers use to gain access to systems. And again, as the story says, this technique makes it more convenient for the threat actor to replace command and control servers, Trend Micro researchers wrote. So, wow. A lot going on here, but the positive thing about this, there are a lot of ways to avoid it. And again, it hasn't proliferated yet. This virus or this malware has only been out, again, since December 2018. So only 7 or 8 months, I guess we're seeing it starting to develop even more and be able to do new and dynamic things that are terrible. But let's check this out. First thing is first. They're talking about the malware, and it's using the Bitcoin blockchain. So my first question would be, do you have to have the Bitcoin blockchain on your computer for this thing to actually update itself, or does it just use the Bitcoin blockchain that's already out there on the internet to automatically update itself? So that'll be my first thing I want to kind of know about this. And again, more information is going to be released this week, I'm sure, as more people find out about it. But also, some of the things that it can actually steal, browsing history, website cookies, account names, and passwords. for the most part, this stuff shouldn't be a big issue. One of the things we talk about here is regularly, deleting and cleaning out your browser history, regularly deleting and cleaning out your emails, those old deleted emails that stay in your bin for 30 days or 45 days or 2 or 3 months, deleting those out. And when it comes to account names and passwords, again, we've talked about third-party password managers like LastPass, or we use 1Password. There's many more, but I mean, at this point, you really should not be using just browser passwords any longer. Again, a lot of browsers are very protected. You talk about Chrome and stuff, but that's where these malware, they're going after browsers. They're going after, the internet services and the web pages you use and the phishing attacks that go to your email address. They're not really hacking these third party. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure LastPass did have some type of, I'm not sure it was a hack or security flaw in it a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years ago. But by and large, these things aren't getting hacked. And even if they do, the way they're set up, if it works correctly, is that even the hacker can't see the passwords in third-party password managers. So I would personally say use that. That can avoid this whole paragraph here of everything this malware could actually do. And again, the worst case scenario, if they get your browsing history, your website cookies, account name and password, specifically when it comes to crypto, you're talking about a cryptocurrency account. We all know that, hey, change it ASAP, continuously change it. So, and again, it's using the Electrum Bitcoin wallet. I'm not sure how many people are still really using Electrum. I know they've had some issues in the past, but it's just one of those things you want to know about. It's the big attack that's out now, or the newest attack that's out now, the newest part of malware. And again, this is an article from Forbes, but it's been all over the place on different websites. And they even show you exactly how it happens. Here's a little infographic where you can see how the attacker uses the malware to penetrate the victim's computer, reroutes it through their own personal server, basically, instead of it going to the network or the server that your computer was actually supposed to go to. And then when it has the control, when it has your control going through its server, it then sends you the malicious traffic through the compromised router. So again, that infographic is here. At the end of the day, people, it's something you should get used to, not just in the crypto space, but in technology in general. We know it. There's always going to be a new security flaw. There's always going to be a new hack, a new form of malware. Apple's going through their latest update on their iPhone. It updated and fixed a lot of, or patched up a lot of old security flaws and bugs, and it opened up one big one. So even Apple goes through it. So nothing new to see here. Again, it's more one of those headline articles that people want to read to make sure the entire Bitcoin blockchain has not been hacked, which it has not. It's just what seems to be a way that the hackers, again, are using Bitcoin addresses and Bitcoin transactions just to basically restart their malware to ensure it gets on all these machines out there. Leroy Forbes going on said, really wish I could have made it to the Black Blockchain Summit. What's going on, Tiffany from New York City? Minho Donahue, what's going on? He said, Harold also said, hopefully the white hat hackers get on this. For sure, man. I'm hoping the same thing. Again, with all the security researchers out there, speaking of this one who found it, Trend Micro, if they found it, they're probably already working on it. From what I've seen in the security, when it comes to cybersecurity, a lot of these analysts and people and these companies will already be working on these solutions, so they can already have the solutions, like a cure for a disease. It's like when people catch it and they need it, it's like, hey, we got you over here already taken care of. We thoroughly been through it. So to me, this is a positive article to see, because one of the top cybersecurity professional teams out there is already on top of this thing. So I think it's a good thing to see. And like I said, we'll stay up to date this week on what's going on with it. All right, and a more lighthearted story, something I couldn't believe when I saw the headline. Wesley Snipes is launching a tokenized $25 million movie fund. That is right. Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange is tokenizing a $25 million movie fund together with renowned Hollywood actor Dr. Wesley Snipes. I did not realize he was a doctor, but this article in Cointelegraph has him as Dr. Wesley Snipes. Dr. Snipes is an American actor, film producer, master martial artist, and author known for his roles as the Marvel Comics character Blade in the Blade film trilogy, as well as for films such as New Jack City, Major League, White Man Can't Jump, Passenger 57, and Demolition Man. Oh man, oldie but goodie. Who remembers Demolition Man out there? That was definitely oldie but goodie. Him and Sylvester Stallone. And I can't not remember was it Jodie Foster from Bird Box? No, it's not Jodie Foster. Whoever was the starting actress on Bird Box, she was in Demolition Man too. It was a good movie. But I'm assuming that this token sale is going to be for those who aren't American and have no clue that Wesley Snipes is not a doctor. Because it's one of those things where it looks like they're trying to build somebody's bio up. Unless I'm in the wrong here. Maybe he went and got his doctorates at some point. I didn't realize it. But it looks like, according to this report, the partners aim to launch a fully compliant security token offering via LCX's Liechtenstein's base platform and blockchain infrastructure. Get this, the tokenized $25 million, quote, Daywalker Movie Fund, DMF. Now Wesley Snipes is definitely behind it if he's calling it the Daywalker Movie Fund. Will invest in future movies and TV shows produced by Dr. Snipes and his production studio, Mandy House. Launching, again, this is crazy. For those who haven't seen Blade, and shout out to Mahershala Ali, who just became the new actor to take on the Blade Marvel comic character here in the coming months. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the movie Blade, and you know, just to let you know, it's a vampire movie. Blade is supposed to be half vampire, half human. You know, that's Wesley Snipes, who can walk around in the daytime as well as at night, which most vampires cannot. So they call him the Daywalker. And again, this fund is called the Daywalker Movie Fund. My first question about this Daywalker Movie Fund that Dr. Wesley Snipes will be launching is, who will be doing the accounting on the taxes? All right. I mean, hey, let's just put it out there. If you remember why Wesley Snipes' acting career had came to a sudden halt before it was revamped with the Expendables, it was because either himself or his accountant at the time, somebody didn't pay the government the taxes that he owed, and he went to prison. That's all I know. So when you have that type of background where, again, it might not have been his fault. It could have been accounting fault. I mean, he was getting money from everywhere, right? Who knows whose fault it was? But if your background is going to prison for not paying taxes, and you're naming your STO off of one of your movies, again, this might not be him. This could be the team who's trying to play it against him and maybe more marketing, who knows? But I just don't trust it off the bat. All right, I literally don't trust it. Again, you're talking about these Hollywood types as well. I mean, come on. Wesley Snipes got $25 million in his phone book, right? Not saying he has to put the money out, but I mean, if your friends don't believe in it, if the rest of Hollywood doesn't believe in it, I am wondering who are they actually marketing to. But if you are interested in this project, looks like pre-registration is open on the LCX site, which registered users to have priority when the STO is fully launched. Looks like DMF will also be managed by investment committee of professional fund managers alongside Dr. Snipes. Again, this scares me because when you're talking about professional fund managers, we're talking about cryptocurrency. We are talking about crypto. We're not talking about Wall Street and what you did on NASDAQ 10 years ago or whatever else. We're talking about crypto. So professional fund managers. I want to know how many professional fund managers from the cryptocurrency side of things who will actually be on this team. And they're also saying LCX's blockchain technology platform will not only host the STO, but will also handle the registration and identity verification for all prospective investors. Again, I hate to say it, but it's looking like a honeypot. That's right. Let's give this group all your money, all of your identification verification, and all your registration in one place. I don't know about this. I really don't know about it right now. But again, hopefully it works out, and it'll be interesting to see. Again, this is the Daywalker Movie Fund by Dr. Wesley Snipes. Now he is a doctor, it looks like, and why not? We got a coin out there. We got this coin, that coin. We had Trump coin. We had a Kanye coin. Wesley Snipes said, I want in as well. It looks like he'll be getting his Daywalker coin as well. It looks like someone actually in the comments put Wesley Snipes is not a doctor of any kind. He has an honorary doctorate from his alma mater, but this does not mean he can use the title of doctor. Right, yeah, you can get an honorary doctorate by donating $50K to college, honestly. I mean, you donate 50 to 100 grand to college, pay for a couple of kids' scholarship in school, and you'll get an honorary doctorate too. But I love how it's actually being used in this story. That's pretty incredible. Daywalker's Movie Fund, people, that's what's up next. Minho Donahue said Blade, awesome movie. Blade was an awesome movie, people. I would definitely agree with that. Chats, there we go. Chats with Decentralized. Shout out to Chats with Decentralized. Go ahead and hawk your new product on here. I saw the email the other day. I didn't get a chance to read it thoroughly. or the tweet. So we definitely want to give you a shout out. Chats with Decentralized, let us know the project you are currently working on. I saw that you weren't doing an ICO or a pre-mine, so I know how difficult that is. And we'll definitely shout out this week on the chat as well. But I agree with you for Zay, because I know he's listening today. Chats with Decentralized said it's time for you to take a pay cut. You've been MIA. What's going on, Dry Dessert? Dry Dessert said he does not know how to use the seashells. Hilarious. Oh yeah, there we go. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was from Demolition Man. They didn't have toilet paper in Demolition Man. They had seashells, for all those who don't know what that's about. Harold George said, I don't know, but I wish Wesley the best. He deserves this for putting comic book movies out there. YouTube Marvel. Yeah, Wesley Snipes definitely deserves, on the Hollywood side of things, he definitely deserves more credit. He put Blade all the way on his back by himself, year after year. So again, great actor. I mean, even when he came out of prison after the whole tax thing, he came out and made that great movie that I cannot think of off the top of my head. It was with Don Cheadle was playing an undercover cop. Wesley Snipes was one of the bad guys. Brooklyn's Finest, something I can't remember, but he's made great movies. So again, hopefully this is a real project, but just off the top of my head, I mean, just looking at it for the first time, it doesn't look like a real project or something I personally would invest in. So we'll see what happens. Yes, D-Vault. D-Vault is a new coin. Chats with Decentralized has launched. We'll be talking more about it this week. I got to go back and check out that tweet, but we definitely will talk about it. All right, Bitcoin deposited in backed warehouse is protected by $125 million of insurance. Again, this story, it confuses me a little bit because I'm not sure which insurance company picked it up. I kind of looked for it, but also, I want to know the contract on the insurance, because we talk about this all the time. Don't think back's too good to do an exit scam. People like, you know what I mean? Don't think some of these big institutional companies are too big to exit scam. We've seen big companies exit scam. That's why Bitcoin was invented. In 2008, the bailouts were a form of an exit scam, right? So, I wouldn't, again, the whole insurance, I'm not sure who's covering it, how it works, what's the stipulations around it, but all you need to know, or all they want you to know, is the Bitcoin deposit at the backed warehouse is protected by a $125 million insurance policy, according to an announcement on September 9th. The company started accepting donations and withdrawals September 6th, ahead of the planned launch of its futures products on September 23rd. And again, they're saying everything is good to go. They're ready to launch it. They're saying news with insurance policy covering clients' deposits removes yet another concern for institutional investors that back hopes to attract. Again, I would assume that this is a real insurance thing. The only thing I could say is that if this is legitimate insurance, that hey, everything that they have in their vault is being insured, then they are paying a very high premium. Because again, this is a very volatile market. You're talking about digital assets. We just talked about a new blockchain-based way of malware. And yeah, if you're going to be keeping a few $100 million in a bank vault, a digital bank vault, I'm assuming, then people are definitely going to go after it. But what was even more interesting about this was the tweets after it. Again, back tweet is out. The back warehouse is active for futures. Bitcoin deposit of our warehouse is protected by a $125 million insurance policy. The responses of tweets are hilarious. The first one, this is actually from our man Van Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not meant to be stored in a warehouse. That defeats the whole point of decentralization. Your insurance policy means as little to us as the insurance of, quote, our, unquote, money in a bank account. And actually, if you're seeing this too on the YouTube, as you know, you can tell I'm on Brave browser because Brave has this triangle next to all the tweets where I can actually tip the tweeter right from my browser. Again, pretty cool. We can use crypto to tweet in browser to someone if I like their content. I don't think I have any money on this browser, so I'm not going to try to do it right now. Let's see. Here's another one. Ledger/Treasure equates to mini safeguard warehouse. If big clients wanted an institution to protect their digital assets, I don't see a problem. Better than having Betty in accounting hold those private keys. And again, this is a laughing cat. Pictured it be Betty from accounting, which is hilarious again. Let's see. Remember, the hype is backed with substance. Unlike other future exchanges, this is settled in Bitcoin. Actual Bitcoin is paid out, not just the fiat equivalent to the price of Bitcoin. The result is better price discovery and liquidity for Bitcoin. Again, So, this is the last one I'll say. So if everyone is so hyped about back, what could we expect to happen once it goes in full production mode? That's what I'm waiting for. If so many people are so hyped about it, I want to see what the price is going to look like. Not September 23rd, but let's say 4 to 5 days afterwards, once kind of the hype settled down. So again, pretty cool that Bakkt is selling all these futures in actual Bitcoin, but also, again, this is a derivative on top of derivatives. You don't need futures to actually buy Bitcoin and make money if it goes up and down in price, or use it as an investment. And last but not least, this is a hilarious little meme picture of the Bakkt warehouse. It's the actual warehouse, which is basically just a key fob or USB stick, and then how Bakkt social media copywriter imaged it. He has an actual warehouse what looks to be almost a super computer held around a bunch of wires. But yeah, when they say Bakkt warehouse, in my head, I'm like, are you talking about it's being stored on a sheet of paper in a vault somewhere? Like, what is this? Or is it being stored on the Trezor, or one of these other devices that you can use to actually hold Bitcoin on? It might be in somebody's phone wallet. You never know, honestly. So something to think about when they say the Bakkt warehouse and it's being insured. I want to know everything about that. Clarence Dennison, thank you for the tip. Much appreciated. Thank you. Sergeant Crypto, what's going on? Sergeant Crypto said YouTube and their algos, man. I'm late to formation. All good. All right. Next story up, pretty big. Stellar to airdrop 2 billion XLM, basically Stellar Lumen tokens. I don't know why they put XLM. It's hard to me. Stellar to airdrop 2 billion Stellar Lumen tokens. Crypto tokens worth $120 million. I chopped that all the way up. But it looks like the Stellar Development Foundation and messaging service Keybase announced Monday a 2 billion Stellar Lumen airdrop, the largest in Stellar's 5-year history, worth roughly $120 million. Looks like over the next 20 months, Keybase users can expect monthly airdrops of 100 million Stellar Lumens. Keybase currently has 300,000 active users across its various services, according to the company. And all you have to do is have an authenticated Keybase account, and your Stellar Lumens will appear in your wallet automatically every month for as long as the airdrop continues, according to a draft blog post shared with CoinDesk. 3 months of airdrops are guaranteed, the company says, with the program's continuation beyond that, dependent on hitting basic success metrics. So realistically, they're not guaranteeing you these airdrops over the next 20 months. They're guaranteeing 300 million over the next 3 months, 100 million per month. And even so, I get it. It's kind of like what Ripple's doing in a sense where, and again, Stellar, some very similar team. One of the co-founders, Ripple, went over to Stellar. But my thing is, of course, what's going to happen to the coins that are already out there? What's going to happen to the price of Stellar right now? A lot of people have been using Stellar to invest in or use whatever as Ripple is going through its up and downs and trials and tribulations, whatever. So to come out with a post saying that, hey, we're actually going to airdrop 20 million of these things, or 2 billion of these things over 20 months. That's a very aggressive growth rate. I hope they hit their metrics. We shall see. Again, it's good for mainstream adoption as well. But that is a very aggressive growth metric, especially, when you consider 3 of 20, what is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, what is that, about 10, 15? They only guaranteed maybe, 14 to 15% of all these 20 million. So if the contract is only guaranteeing 15% of this even happening, then I don't know if they even actually plan to make it happen for over the 20 months, or again, if it's even realistic for it to actually happen, which is probably why they only did 3 months, because again, 300,000 active users, that gives you 100 million per month. So 300 million, so enough for all those people. They're banking on this active user account to bump up to 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, and so on. So they have that reason to actually do those airdrops. Again, I hope it happens. Not sure it actually will. But there's only one way to find out, and that's time, I guess, right? Mally Toxic Frog Juice, what's going on? Mally Toxic Frog Juice, haven't seen in a while, actually, said, hi guys, SEC Jay Clayton, speaking warmly about this Omnius ETF again on Bloomberg today. Yeah, I decided not to even cover it. I saw him. They basically were saying that there's still more work to be done before they push out the ETFs. Or AKA, until we get all our people in the right places set up, we would not legalize any ETF. So we shall see what happens. Tether is back in the news as they launched their Chinese yuan pegged stablecoin on the Ethereum blockchain. That is right. Tether has launched its Chinese yuan backed stablecoin, which we revealed will run on the Ethereum blockchain as a ERC20 token. Wow. Looks like the new token is known as CNHT with 2 slashes in the middle. I'm not sure what that actual key is called on the computer, but it's collateralized with the yuan stored offshore. CNH represents a further expansion of Tether's capabilities in facilitating the digital use of traditional currencies such as the US dollar and euro, the announcement said. That's pretty interesting. Again, this is going to show that cryptocurrency as a whole is a global game. There is no one country. They don't just want the euro or the dollar. They want the yuan as well. It's actually interesting to see Tether do this for another reason. Will other stablecoins start doing that? Or can they even start doing that? Will we see a Gemini-based stablecoin backed by the yuan? Will we see a Binance-backed stablecoin backed by the yuan? Though, Binance, I think, have a better chance than Gemini. They're in New York City. I don't see the state of New York allowing them to do that. But again, this opens that Pandora's box now where companies and countries can say, hey, we don't just need a USD-backed stablecoin. We just need something to be backed by it. And I actually want to see how this, what this does for the yuan moving forward, especially the crypto market grows. This could actually be a better thing for the Chinese yuan than it could be for cryptocurrency or Tether in general. The fact that they're basing a currency that's, supposed to be based off of crypto as well, but it's being backed by the yuan, a one-to-one, or however they want to put it out there. If the yuan can keep that currency the same, that whatever is being backed by at the same price point or the dollar amount for them, and the price of crypto continues to increase, and that will make the yuan again another stronger asset, or another stronger fiat currency rather than just the dollar and the euro as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Again, I don't think this would be the only 3 that Tether continues to do. I think Tether and the rest of the what are these things called? Stablecoin issuers are going to be just like token issuers. If it can be stabilized into a stablecoin, it will be. So that means you have a real currency out there that we can back and put a stablecoin on top of and have people actually use it in your country. I think stablecoin issuers will go that way, but we will see this. We'll see how it happens. Molly Toxic Frog just said yuan Tether is big news outside of capital controls for China. Right. I mean, hey, slow news day in crypto. So we get what we got, right? Chats with Decentralized said, in my opinion, they just push us into another walled garden system, though. China likes walled gardens too much. For sure. No, definitely. Again, I'm not kidding myself, people. China still hasn't even been open to cryptocurrency as it is. They have the red wall of China blocking people's websites. So in China, I don't think much will happen. But again, when you just talk about what China has, the things that actually back its yuan are some of the things that are very similar that backs the US dollar. You're talking about, economic growth, military might, the amount of people in your country. Their country is going through a revolution or it had been going through a revolution. I know it's slowing down a little bit, but, they have been literally creating new jobs and speeding things up tenfold over the last, 20 or 30 years now. So if they can continue to do what they're doing, and again, crypto can go in the same direction, I can see it being valuable for some people for sure. All right, last but certainly not least, want to end on a great news story. MakerDAO is helping 60 kids in Brazil learn the basics of blockchain. This is a very cool picture. I mean, this is all you need, people. You got a bunch of kids in the room, a couple laptops, and people who know what they're talking about, and the learning begins. It looks like nearly 120 youth ages 14 to 24. I wouldn't necessarily call 24 youth, but okay. Now gather weekly in Rio de Janeiro for free courses about financial literacy, computer programming, and blockchain technology. That is super cool. It looks like World Bank Research Field Coordinator Eric Baumgartner told CoinDesk he went to 3 high schools in the crime-riddled Pavana district to recruit students for the 9-month program, which started in May. And it looks like in order to serve this marginalized community of aspiring developers, the World Bank partnered with a slew of organizations ranging from MakerDAO to Banco Mari and the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, plus the Brazilian education startup Blockchain Academy. Wow. Looks like only half the students passed computer literacy test to take the blockchain focused course at the end of the program. They'll be learning web programming basics, how to make Ethereum-based smart contracts, and a little about Hyperledger. The final purpose of all these efforts is to give them a real opportunity to be hired. Blockchain Academy co-founder Rosine Kadamini told CoinDesk, by the end of the trading program, students are going to participate in a hackathon or MakerDAO to have the opportunity to create something more concrete, something that could be helpful for themselves. This is a big story to me, people, because this is the future. Like, this is the competition. They say what, only half the students pass the test. So you got 60 people in Rio de Janeiro, ages 14 to 24, that in about 8 to 9 months will be starting a blockchain academy program to learn to make Ethereum-based smart contracts, Hyperledger, and some programming basics. So just to make it basic, by this time next year, you'll have at least 60 people in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, who knows what to do when it comes to blockchain technology, smart contracts, and all that. So if you're talking about being competitive in this space, like, this is what you have to do. You have to make sure you're learning out there, you're paying attention, because it's global. I mean, this is something that's global. It's like the internet. Anyone can jump in and learn about it and start developing. So I think this is a really good thing. We talk about decentralization for a reason, because when you're talking about new projects that are out, or even the Bitcoin network in general versus your JP Morgan coin, your Libra coin, JP Morgan and Facebook's Libra will only have their team working on these projects. Whereas Bitcoin and some of these other crypto projects out there now has 60 more people from Rio de Janeiro who can go online and say, well, just let me take a look at the project. I might be able to add my 2 cents into it. And it could be the small little thing that makes it, a regular project and turns it into this whole unicorn company overnight. So very cool story to see. Shout out to MakerDAO for going out there. Shout out to Blockchain Academy as well. And even a good shout out to the World Bank, even though I know how you all get down. Shout out to you all for doing this philanthropic, I guess, or as they're calling it, de-philanthropic, as in decentralized, of course, program. This is pretty cool to see, and I can't wait to hear next year what actually comes out of it once some of these students get finished with some of these courses and say, hey, I'm working at so-and-so company. I learned from Blockchain Academy in Rio de Janeiro. That is pretty cool. Molly Toxic Frog just said MakerDAO are the real deal. We're at a conference in Germany and very impressive stuff. Nice, good stuff, Molly. Hey, make sure you share with us some of the things they're going over. Which conference isn't in Germany, by the way, as well. But yeah, MakerDAO has been around. And again, anything when it comes to education and stuff, we love talking about these articles, because we think this is what's really going to drive this mass adoption, is by having more people first learn about it and actually start developing and using it for business reasons, and then, of course, opening it up to the public as well. Really cool to see. All right, that is the show for today. Again, not a lot of crazy news out there, which is a good thing. Prices being stabilized at around $10,400. Of course, 24 hours in crypto is a long time, so we will see what happens tomorrow. Until then, cheers, folks.